In this short and snappy video, I'm going to talk about the toxic mother-in-law who ill-treats the divine feminine and puts all of the blame of how her son behaves, which is obviously something she condemns all the time. And she's not condemning her son because that kind of inflates her image, but she's doing so because that makes the divine feminine look like a bad partner. She could be the girlfriend, she could be the wife, or she could be the mother of his children, but the toxic mother-in-law, the narcissistic, cold-blooded mother-in-law wants to make the divine feminine feel always that she's the culprit. She's not going to talk about all the years that her son was living without the divine feminine and yet he was still acting in bad ways, wrong ways, or he was not doing any work, or maybe he was a very codependent person. For example, if her son is a bad provider and all of the money control is with the mother-in-law, and she wants to use this against the divine feminine, then she's going to say that you could not fix him. He was like this, okay, fine. I raised him like this, okay, fine. That was not my fault, but even you could not fix him. Your love could not fix him. I thought that your love is going to fix him, but your love is useless. She might use this as an example to again prove her superiority. She might say that her husband, who is the father of her irresponsible son, she would say that my husband was also not doing much. He was also not a great provider. He was not making that much money before he met me or before he married me. But because of me, I changed him. I changed his life. I made him so happy, or I gave him the inspiration, or I was this or I was that. He started making money. Look, I was able to make him do that for me. I was able to change him. But you cannot. So you don't have any skills, or you don't have any feminine quality that is of prime importance in our world. The toxic mother-in-law might also compare the divine feminine with his other exes or with some other relationship which could not work out, or she would say that, oh, he could have worked it out with her, but you came in the picture. Or we could not recognize how great that girl was for him, but now it's too late because you're there in the picture. So these type of mean statements, these type of condescending, very vampish, villain type statements, this toxic mother-in-law can easily say. She wants to just hurt the divine feminine. She wants to lower her confidence. She wants to make her look like the culprit, like the bad person. And that gives her energy because she feels superior. She doesn't have any other means or any other way to feel better about herself. These type of women have very dark energy, and they don't look at their son like a person who has an individual expression or who has some individual thought pattern. Everything has to be about her. Everything is about her. So when she sees that her son is in love with someone else and he's happy with her and he doesn't want her that much, the only reason he wants her is probably for money or for some other material need, then he'll come to the mother. And there is a lot of envy and jealousy in this lady, these type of women. If she sees her son is treating any other woman right, correctly, which is something he should do. All gentlemen should do that. In fact, this is the mother's responsibility to actually teach good manners, good etiquettes to her son or daughter both. But she has not taught him any etiquette. She only wants him to just be her slave. And by hook or by crook, she is going to turn him into her slave. Because this type of husband that a divine feminine gets is also an enabled narcissist. So he might be around the divine feminine, he might be just there, being there or being by her side. But in his head, who rules his head? Maybe she rules his heart and he is getting ruled by the head because his heart chakra is not yet expanded. Because his heart chakra is literally blocked. So he has to use his mind because there is no connection between his mind and his heart. If the heart chakra is functioning well, which is a high stage of ascension journey, but some people are naturally born with an open heart chakra, and it is also said that when other chakras are working in alignment, then they all pump in energy to the heart chakra. So either this way or that way, it's a very important chakra and it gives a lot of confidence. Confidence comes from the solar plexus, but that confidence also goes in department of love and relationships. Now, most divine feminines who are still doing inner work and their solar plexus is blocked, even if they're very loving, they may not be able to experience the love either from others or from themselves. Why? Because the heart chakra may be working fine in childhood, but it became dormant or stopped getting energy, or there were other blockages in the lower chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus. So that energy, that combined energy, is not reaching to the heart. So she is attracting a person who might be very much attracted to her, very much drawn to her, could have some lustful feelings, but really intense ones. So he is going to be around her, but he's not going to be committed. He could even fight or argue with the toxic mother-in-law, with her toxic mother-in-law, but his mother. But she always wants to win in this game. She wants, by hook or by crook, she wants to make others believe that it's the divine feminine who is wrong. She's the one who's without character. She's the one without money. She's the one without job. She's the one who cannot take care of my son. She's the one who cannot inspire my son. It's okay if the son is jobless. It's okay if the son is totally codependent. It's okay if the son is an addict, is into drugs or alcohol. Could be possible that both mother and son are drinking together or getting high together, because that's the level of toxicity she has put onto him. She's not seeing her son as her son, but she's seeing her son as another, a second husband to her, where she can get some validation. Mothers are of course very loving creatures, but all mothers are not capable of loving others unconditionally. If she can see true love, if she understands what true love is, then not only she is going to accept the divine feminine fully, she would be able to recognize her, she would know the qualities of divine feminine. A toxic, narcissistic woman who is on some authority cannot understand the goodness of divine feminine. She is also going to say that I don't like her goodness. She could even say that her goodness makes me afraid. Her goodness is very scary. Why she's so good? Why she's so good? She can't be so good. How can one person be so good? So she wants to poke the divine feminine. She constantly pokes her. She devalues her. She disrespects her. She's going to give her ultimatums and threats. But if the divine feminine is very strong, then her next agenda would be to poison the mind of her son, to pollute the mind of her son. And the son is also not that great, to be honest. I always tell in my twin flame journey that all divine feminines and masculines have to meet different types of people. They meet the karmics, they meet the false twins, they meet the catalysts, they meet the soulmates, they meet the genuine twin flame also. They meet everyone because they have to meet themselves, their own selves. Because your ultimate soulmate is none other than you. If you're really looking for your ultimate soulmate, then it's you. The person who you need to have a great relationship, the best relationship with first is you. Because if you have a great bond with yourself, if you love your own company, if you understand who you are, and you know what you want, then your decision-making power is going to be very strong. Let me tell you, decision-making power is so important in this journey. A lot of people who are successful, a lot of great people are actually very good decision makers. And if they make a decision, they stand by it. They don't move from it. So if the divine feminine makes a decision that she is not going to get persuaded by any of this, or she is not going to take anything personally, and her only primary focus is going to be her, then these people cannot steal her energy, nor they can make her feel bad for that long. Whatever they do, it will fall back on them. They are going to pay for anything, all the planning, plotting, scheming, all the controversies they spun around the divine feminine, trying to tarnish her image, trying to ruin her image. It will all fall back on them. People eventually are going to say that this mother-in-law and her son, they are the culprits, not this lady, not this divine feminine. The related therapy for anyone who resonates with this is narcissistic abuse release, because if you yourself have narcissistic patterns that are not healed, if there are wounds in your system, then you are going to attract these type of people, these type of mother-in-law energy or the narcissistic partner energy. Even if your partner is, say, half empath and half narcissist, because that empathetic side is something they've received due to their past life karmas, but they also have this narcissistic side in them, then too you need to work on your wounds, not on their wounds. Because if you work on them, it will never have the impact or the result that you're looking for. You need to work only on yourself. So I will see you in the next video. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.